What's up, YouTube? T-Movies here. Since the film The Hunt, which is pretty much controversial, ended up getting canceled, well, the film most likely is going to still come out, like maybe to digital or whatever. But since that film is pretty much controversial now, I decided to go ahead and do my top 10 favorite movies that was actually also that are also controversial films. Because like over the years, there have been movies that caused controversy or got banned from other countries or whatnot. So with that being said, here's my 10 favorite controversial films. All right, coming in at number 10 is this David Cronenberg film called Crash. Not to be confused with the Oscar-winning movie Crash, that got released in 2004. This film, called Crash, got released in 1996 or 97, or around those two. And it was directed by David Cronenberg, who of course gave us stuff like The Fly, and I think he did Shocker as well, or something like that. This is definitely one of his most, David Cronenberg's kind of a controversial director. And this is one of his most controversial films he's ever really done. And it's a weird one. I mean, alright, here's what, Crash is pretty much all about. It's about this TV scientist played by played by James Spader, who has become very obsessed by the marriage of a motor car technology with like what he sees as a raw sexually car crash victim, and so he also meets this woman played by he ends up meeting this woman played by Holly Hunter, and they end up falling for each other, but uh, this is a bit really awkward to really talk about out loud, but in Crash, they end up. Wait, I'm outside, so this is a little weird to really talk about outside. But in the movie Crash, the two leads get horny from a car crash. That's right. It's a film about two people who who ends up getting horny from car crashes. And this movie got very controversial with its explicit sexual content, and it is also based on a book, and it also even got banned from lots of countries, including it got banned from the UK, and it got banned from lots of other countries and states. And lots of people actually found this movie to be offensive, and I mean, because I guess I can see why, because car crashes are a terrible thing, but film where two people get horny from a car crash, that is really weird, but it's actually a really decent film. I mean, James Spader has done, despite being in the blacklist and all, he has done very explicit films. This, and he also did that movie with Maggie Gyllenhaal, Secretary. He also did that. So he's done some explicit films way before he did Blacklist, and way before he did with Ultron and all. But if you guys haven't seen the film Crash yet, go check it out. I mean, it's not a film for everyone, but it's a really erotic feature. I mean, it's a better 50 Shades movie than 50 Shades. I'll put it that way, too. But yeah, David Cronenberg is one weird director. He's a good director, but he's a pretty weird director there. Oh, and David Cronenberg did the movie Scanners, not Shocker. But anyway, yeah, David Cronenberg is still a weird filmmaker. All right, coming in at number 9. Alright, coming in at number 9 is going to be the Mel Gibson classic, Passion of the Christ. Now, it is controversial because for stars, it is like very extremely violent and constantly largely of scenes of. It also features like very controversial scenes of Jesus, being tortured right before and during his crucifixion. And it's also directed by Mel Gibson, who said some not so good stuff. He said some racist stuff. So, and he's like a controversial guy on his own. So, it was weird to see a guy who had said bad stuff about Jews to direct a movie like Passion of the Christ. So that on its own was really awkward. But Passion of the Christ, directed by Mel Gibson, was still really good. It is a very hard film to watch. I mean, it's pretty risky. It's really bloody. I mean, it's rated R, but it doesn't have like a language or anything. It's mainly R rated for for like explicit violence and all. But it's still pretty decent film. Jim Caviezel was great as Jesus Christ. Um, you had Monica Bellucci as Mary Magdalene. You had Maya Morgenstern as Mary. But it does show Jesus getting really tortured badly and getting nailed on the cross, and it's really a bloody rampage. And yeah, it's not an easy film to watch. I mean, I probably only see this movie maybe twice or three times, and I could barely watch this movie again. It's really gut wrenching, and yeah. But of course, Mel Gibson has talked about doing a sequel to this, which I don't know how you could do a sequel to Passion of the Christ, but whatever. And get this, before Deadpool, Passion of the Christ ended up being one of the highest grossing R-rated films of all time. Of course, until Deadpool took that honor. But yeah, Passion of the Christ it's an interesting film. Very hard to watch, but still pretty decent. Alright, coming in at number 8. Alright, coming in at number 8 is going to Natural Born Killers, directed by the wonderfully director Oliver Stone. And this movie is very controversial and it's like divided by critics and audiences. I mean, the critic score on of Natural Born Killers was very low, while the audience score was like pretty high and all. And this movie stars Woody Harrelson and Juliette Lewis as a young couple who pretty much like each desire their love, and they also have a very common dread that they have like a very love for violence and all. And so they pretty much sorry about that, guys. Anyway, they go on like a very bloody rampage and mainly like kill like innocent people, and they are very maniacs. They are not good people at all. And this movie got lots of controversy. Like for one, it was produced by yeah, it was like produced by Quentin Tarantino, so there's that. And the film, I mean, this film was really like even Quentin Tarantino actually ended up disowning the film, saying that like he hated the film and and he even wrote down saying if you don't like his stuff, don't watch it. And the film actually ended up getting banned for its explicit of violence and there's also have been like because of the film there was like people who ended up copying the film. Like for example, there was this couple who actually ended up like this film even inspired lots of school shootings, including the Heath High School as well as Columbine. And you know shooters was actually inspired by the film, and there was also like a couple who ended up killing killing people as well because of the film. But that alone, it's actually not that bad of a film. I mean, it's very gory. I mean, it's not like gory, but it's pretty violent. I mean, this is one of the craziest, insane couples you'll ever want to meet. And not to mention, you have Robert Downey Jr. in this shoot. I mean, what more could you ask? You even had Ryan Dangerfield was also in the shoot, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, Natural Born Killers, directed by Oliver Stone, Woody Harrelson, Juliette Lewis. Really interesting film. A crazy film, not to mention, but pretty insane. And yeah. All right, coming in at number 7. Yeah, coming in at number 7 is going to Tropic Thunder. Now, this movie, of course, got released in 2008, and I single-handedly love this film. Tropic Thunder is just. Tropic Thunder is great. It's really funny, and you got Ben Still in this. Tom Cruise as. You got like Tom Cruise as a Les Grossman. I mean, really interesting. Group of cast members, but it did cause lots of controversy when it got released because there is like a fake film, like a fake character that Ben Still played called Simple Jack. And Simple Jack really was withdrawn because lots of disability activists and others who like previewed the film reportedly found the treatment offensive. Ben, and this movie even got protested a lot. Like seriously, when this film got released, it got tons of protesting because of it, and it even got banned in a couple of countries too. So yeah. And also, not to mention, there was also controversy with Robert Downey Jr. Playing a black person, so that also caused controversy too. I mean, this movie it's a great film. It's probably one of the funniest movies of last decade. But it still has lots of controversy, and yeah, I mean, if you guys still never seen Tropic Thunder by now, do yourself a favor, go watch it. It's a really funny film. Loads of controversy, but still really funny. Alright. Now, coming in at number 6. Coming in at number 6 is going to be the film that pretty much almost got us killed, by the way. Coming in at number 6 is going to The Interview. Now, The Interview got released in 2014 and was co-directed by Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg, and it starred James Franco as his talk show host named Dave Skylark, who him and his producer Aaron Rappaport, played by Seth Rogen. All the team behind the popular tabloid TV show Skylark Tonight. And they end up learning that Kim Jong-un, played by Randall Park, is a huge fan of the show. And so they end up getting hired to go to North Korea to actually kill Kim Jong-un. And, I mean, that's where the controversy started. This movie at first was supposed to be released in October 2013, but then it got delayed to December 2014. And that's not where it all started. It kind of got controversy because, there was North Korea threats because of their depiction of Kim Jong-un. Then there was, of course, the Sony hacks. And they even, believe it or not, I had to go to in order for me to see this movie, I literally had to go down to, take a bus and go down to 12th Street and 3rd to the Cinema Village to actually see this film. This movie was banned from AMC. It was banned from Riga. Maybe a little surprised that Cinema Village actually showed it. I guess they're not as popular as AMC or Riga or anything, but I guess I can see why there. But yeah, this movie really stirred lots of controversy, and despite it, I still like the interview. Seth Rogen was great. I love Randall Park as Kim Jong Un. You also had Lizzie Kaplan was great in this. You also had a funny Eminem scene where Eminem pretty much went to the Skylark tonight and admitted that he was gay. So I don't think that caused any controversy, but yeah. But anyway, still the interview is I still quite like the interview despite the controversy. But yeah, if you guys haven't seen the interview by now, yeah, this movie literally almost got us killed. But it's still a really funny and fun flick, and I think you'll appreciate the interview. So yeah. All right. Coming in at number 5 is going to a Clockwork Orange. I always keep calling it a Clockwork Orange, but it's a Clockwork Orange. It is Stanley Kubrick's masterpiece, if you will. And this movie it's very this movie also got very controversial. It's about this protagonist named Alex Delar, played by Malcolm McDowell, who's a very ultra-violent youth in futuristic Britain. And so, as before the luck, he ends up his luck ends up eventually runs out, and he ends up getting arrested and convicted of murder and rape and all. And so, while being in prison, he learns of a experimental program in which convicts are programmed to test violence. And so, if he goes through the program, his sentence would be reduced, and he will be able to go back on the streets. And this film caused a lot of controversy when it got released. It pretty much escalated to, there was literally protesting around when the film got released. And get this, it even got to the point where one of the protesters actually picketed Stanley Kubrick's house in England, and the director ended up receiving death threats because of the film. And the film got it got criticized for its explicit of violence and murder and rape and all that. And it's still a good film, but it's not really easy film to watch. I've probably seen this movie only maybe 3 times or probably 4 times, and that's kind of it. It's still a good film. I mean, Malcolm McDowell is great. Stanley Kubrick. I mean, who doesn't love Stanley Kubrick? Stanley Kubrick's the man. He did a great job with this. And yeah, Clockwork Orange it was a really controversial film when it got released. I mean, believe it or not, in the U.S., Clockwork Orange ended up being rated X in its original release in 1972. And yeah, and because of the kind of the explicit of sex and violence and all, and yeah, rated X is an interesting rating to rating to have for your rating system. But yeah, Clockwork Orange is. If you guys never seen a Clockwork Orange by now, go check it out. It's a really good one. Alright, coming in at number 4 is Tobe Hooper's iconic film, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Now, this film actually got banned from lots of countries because of, pretty much because of its, use of violence and torture and all that. But, I mean, it's, Texas Chainsaw Massacre is Leatherface. Leatherface is a very controversial figure on its own. You got the great Gunnar Hansen as the famed Leatherface, who really, I mean, Leatherface is actually based on this serial killer named Ed Gein, who, on his own rights, Ed Gein was a real sick dude. Like, Ed Gein will actually kill his victims and then use their faces as masks. Like the guy even made, like Ed Gein even made like furnitures out of human flesh. That's how much of a sick guy is, and that's who they kind of like. That killer is what really inspired Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and I mean, Leatherface is a really crazy like maniac. He kills people with he kills people with a chainsaw. Like he he tortures people. He makes people's faces out. Like he uses people's faces as a mask. Like unlike Jason, where he uses the hockey mask, or Michael Myers when he uses just a regular Halloween mask. Like even Jason and Michael Myers will look at Leatherface and be like, yeah, that's a little too much. But yeah, Texas Chainsaw Massacre is it's an iconic horror masterpiece. I really love this film, and despite the controversy behind it, I still quite got kicked out of this film. All right, coming in at number 3. All right, coming in at number 3 is going to Larry Clark's film Kids. Now, I could have literally added any of Larry Clark's films to this list. Now, I could have added Bully. I could have added Kent Park. Larry Clark is kind of a sick dude, but his films are actually shot really beautifully, and Kids is seriously a weird movie to watch. Like this, despite me sort of liking the film, it is very uncomfortable to watch. I mean, I literally watched Kids when I was a kid, and I even said to myself, yeah, I'm not going, I'm their age, and no way am I going through that phase. Like, I'm not going to deal with the stuff that they went through in Kids. And, Kids really stars this actor named Leo Fitzpatrick, and it tells the story of this kid named Tully, played by Fitzpatrick, who's actually pretty young. Really, everyone in this movie, I think almost everyone, was very young when they got the roles. Like Rosario Dawson, I believe she was only 15 at the time. Chloe Sevigny was pretty young at the time. So yeah, the cast in this movie was pretty way too young for a role like this. And in it, Telly is this a kid who has whose major goal is to pretty much take lots of to end up devouring lots of virgins as he can. He ends up one of his old encounters ends up discovering that she is HIV positive, and after only one encounter with the guy, Telly ends up remaining adopted in her. And yeah, this movie has lots of stuff that kids should not be getting into, including there are some. It's not violent or anything, but there are some fights and violent stuff in it. It features kids getting drunk, high, and of course, yeah, it's really explicit. And Larry Clark, that guy's a weird dude, but his films, the movie was also scripted by Harmony Korine, who also directed Spring Breakers. And yeah, this movie is, it actually got some pretty good reviews when it got released too, which pretty cool there. But yeah, if you guys haven't seen Kids, the movie of course takes place in the 90s, and it takes place in New York City. And it's a really explicit, film with lots of the actors was pretty young at the time when they made this film. So that of course caused lots of this film even got banned from a couple of countries too because of that. Yeah, really, the show Euphoria is sort of similar to Kids if you really want to look at it that way as well. But yeah, if you guys never seen 1995's Kids, directed by Larry Clark, go check it out. But it is really an uncomfortable film to watch. Like, yeah. All right. Coming in at number two is going to The Exorcist. Now, this movie also caused lots of controversy, and it even got banned from a couple of countries as well. And this movie was also really cursed. Like, when I mean cursed, I mean pretty cursed. You know, because a couple of the characters, like a couple of the actors end up dying, and a couple of the actors' family members end up dying. Like, for one, Linda Miller, who of course played the little girl in this, her grandmother Sally passed away. Max Monsios played the priest. His brother ends up dying, and two of the film's actors also died during the course of production. And the film also ended up causing like a pandemonium upon the release, because I mean this film depicts a like a little girl who ended up being very creepy, and come on, it featured a green, it featured green vomit. That's also there, and lots of religious groups did not really care much for the movie because it depicts of religion and all that. And of course, you got a Max von Sydow as a priest, so that was pretty cool there. But it didn't go well with lots of church activists. And like, get this, Linda Blair, who I believe Linda Blair was like only 12 or maybe 13 when she did this movie. Like, she literally got death threats because of the film. I mean, that's awful. Sending death threats to a child, that's just really, sending death threats to anyone is terrible. But a child, that's like, if this movie actually got made today, sad to say, Linda Blair probably would have, with social media and stuff, she'll actually get lots of death threats over social media, because you guys know how social media is. But yeah, The Exorcist it's still an iconic horror film in its own right, but still very controversial. And yeah, The Exorcist is it's a really decent film. All right, the best controversial movie of all time. All right, coming in at number one, the most controversial film of all time is of course South Park: Bigger, Longer, Uncut. I mean, obviously this movie will be in this list. I mean, South Park in its own right, which is of course the TV show, it's very controversial, and like, South Park is probably one of the most controversial TV shows there is. But in 1999, they of course did a movie of South Park, and it of course got a lot of hate because it's talk of Canadians and Canada, and of course they had the controversial Oscar-winning song "Blame Canada." And I mean, South Park is just, South Park is a really controversial show, and of course the movie will be controversial as well. And of course, it also was very controversial because it featured Satan and Saddam Hussein getting it on, and of course the film is also probably one of the most popular, like one of the only anime films to use the curse word only 399. Like, it had so much curse words in this, and it featured kids cursing, of course. I mean, yeah, and it got like, the reviews and all got was good and all, but there was like a couple of critical dictators ended up knowing how they ended up like saying how offended the film is, and And Jack Matthews of the Daily News also suggested that the film's running time made Parker and Stone ending up running out of ideas and all. Like, this movie really offended a lot of people. Despite its critical success, its box office success, lots of people love this movie, including myself. I love South Park Big and Long and Cut. It is a really funny film. I mean, it's really raunchy. It's just great, and I quite love both the South Park movie and the South Park show. They're just some really entertaining stuff. And of course, South Park is not going anywhere anytime soon, so we'll most likely see more controversial stuff come out from South Park. But it should be. South Park is interesting. And it's an interesting show, and of course, it got an interesting film. So, and pretty controversial. So yeah. But anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me do the quick rundown. 10. Number 10, Crash. 9, Passion of the Christ. 8, Natural Born Killers. 7, Tropic Thunder. 6, The Interview. 5, A Clockwork Orange. 4, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. 3, Kids. 2, The Exorcist. 1, South Park Bigger, Longer, Uncut. Now, there's loads of other movies that caused lots of controversy. Human Centipede was one. Human Centipede was not that good, but the 1915 film, The Birth of a Nation. I don't want to explain why that's. A video.
I don't want to hear it.
You good? Sorry about that. When I'm out here, I get an interesting fan base. So, anyway, the 1915 film, The Birth of a Nation, got lots of controversy. Last Temptation of Christ, Last Tango in Paris, Blade Runner was controversial? I didn't know that. Let's see. Battle Royale was pretty controversial because it included kids killing kids. But I guess with Hunger Games, that's okay. But whatever. There's a Basic Instinct. There's a Basic Instinct that was controversial. There's also Eyes Wide Shut, which was pretty controversial. Pretty Baby with Brooke Shields, that was controversial. The Da Vinci Code. A Dog's Purpose was pretty controversial too. So, yeah. But lots of interesting controversial movies there was. But let me leave you guys. What are some of your favorite controversial movies of all time? Drop a comment below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. This here is Team Movies signing off.